If you touch her, I'll kill everyone you've ever loved. Damian Moretti's voice was Arctic calm, but his gun never wavered from the man holding me hostage. My best friend's father, 58 years old, Mafia Boss, and the man I'd been sleeping with for 3 weeks while Sarah planned her wedding, completely oblivious that her maid of honor was screwing her dad. The man pressing a knife to my throat laughed. "She's the one you've been hiding, Jesus Moretti. She's young enough to be your—" The gunshot cut him off. Blood sprayed. I screamed, and Damian's eyes met mine across the warehouse, cold, possessive, utterly unrepentant. "Mine," he mouthed. Before I tell you how loving my best friend's father destroyed absolutely everything I held sacred, please subscribe and stay until the end to see just how deep this disaster goes. Comment your city below so I can see how far my shame has traveled. Now let me take you back to the beginning, to the exact moment I became the worst person alive. I was 24 years old the first time I looked at a 58-year-old man and thought, I want him. Not just wanted, needed, craved, in a way that made my skin burn and my moral compass shatter into 1,000 irreparable pieces. And he was my best friend's father. Let me be clear about something from the start. I'm not a good person. I know how this story sounds. Young woman, older man, forbidden territory. You're already judging me, and you should. Because what I did to Sarah, my best friend of 6 years, the woman who'd held my hair while I puked through college, who'd loaned me money when I couldn't make rent, who trusted me completely, what I did to her was unforgivable. But I did it anyway. The invitation arrived on a Tuesday. Heavy cardstock, embossed lettering, the kind of expensive that whispered old money. You are cordially invited to celebrate Damian Moretti's 58th birthday. You have to come, Sarah said, sprawled across my lumpy couch, her engagement ring catching the light. She'd gotten engaged 3 months ago to Brandon, a hedge fund manager with perfect teeth and zero personality. Dad specifically asked if you'd be there. My stomach flipped. Why would your dad ask about me? I showed him photos from our Boston trip. He said you looked intelligent. Sarah grinned, which is dad speak for she's not an idiot like the other friends you've had. I'd known Sarah since freshman year at NYU, 6 years of friendship, and I'd never met her father. Her mother, Catherine, occasionally joined us for lunch, elegant, warm, the kind of woman who made you want to sit up straighter. But Damian Moretti remained a ghost. A name mentioned in passing, a presence, felt but never seen. Why haven't I met him before? I asked carefully. Sarah's smile faltered, just for a second. Dad's complicated. His business keeps him busy. What kind of business? Import, export, consulting, various things. She waved her hand vaguely. Honestly, I don't ask too many questions. The money's good, and he keeps his work separate from family. The way she said it made my teacher instincts prick. I'd learned to read subtext in my students' essays, the things they didn't say. Sarah was hiding something. Sarah, just come to the party, okay? Wear something nice. Not that. She gestured at my ratty NYU sweatshirt. Something that doesn't scream, I grade papers for $38,000 a year. The Moretti estate made me want to turn my Honda around and drive straight back to my shoebox apartment in Queens. Marble fountains, actual peacocks on the lawn, valets who looked at my car like it might contaminate the other vehicles. Stop it, Sarah hissed, linking her arm through mine. You look gorgeous. I didn't. My black dress was from Target, my shoes from last year's clearance rack. Every woman here dripped diamonds and disdain. I felt like an anthropologist who'd stumbled into the wrong century. The ballroom glittered, chandeliers that probably cost more than my student loans. Champagne flowing like water. Men in suits that fit like second skins, discussing stock portfolios and real estate acquisitions. Women with faces that defied aging, comparing vacation homes and charity galas. This wasn't just wealth, this was power. There's Mom, Sarah said, dragging me toward Catherine Moretti. Catherine kissed my cheek, smelling of Chanel and roses. Elena, I'm so glad you came. Sarah's been talking about you all week. Thank you for having me, Mrs. Moretti. Catherine, please. Her smile was genuine warm. Damian's around somewhere. He's eager to meet you. The way she said it made something twist in my stomach. Sarah pulled me toward the bar. Champagne. God, yes. We were halfway across the room when I felt it. That electric awareness like static before lightning. I turned and saw him. Damian Moretti stood by the floor-to-ceiling windows, a glass of scotch in his hand, his attention fixed entirely on me. Tall, broad-shouldered, silver threading through dark hair, sharp cheekbones, a jaw that could cut glass. He wore power like other men wore cologne, naturally, effortlessly, with the confidence of someone who'd never questioned his right to command a room. He was 58 years old. He looked at me like I was the only person in the world. My breath stopped. "That's Dad," Sarah said quietly beside me. I couldn't look away. His eyes were dark, almost black, and they pinned me in place with an intensity that felt physical, dangerous, like standing at the edge of a cliff and feeling the pull of the void. "Come on," Sarah said, her voice strange. "I'll introduce you." Each step toward him felt significant, final, like crossing a threshold I could never uncross. "Dad, this is Elena Brooks. Lena, my father, Damian Moretti." "Miss Brooks." His voice was deep textured, the kind that vibrated in your chest. He extended his hand. I took it. His grip was firm, warm, and lasted exactly 3 seconds too long. Long enough for me to feel the calluses on his palm. Long enough for heat to bloom where our skin touched. Long enough for me to know he felt it too. "It's nice to finally meet you, Mr. Moretti." "Damian, please." He released my hand slowly. "Sarah tells me you're a literature teacher." "High school. Mostly American classics and contemporary fiction." "Favorite author?" The question surprised me. "Depends on the day. Today, Toni Morrison." Something flickered in his expression. Approval. Interest. "Beloved." "Paradise, actually. Most people don't read it." "Most people don't read, period." His eyes never left mine. "What do you teach them? The sanitized versions, I hope. Can't have teenagers actually thinking." I bristled. "I teach them to think critically, to question, to understand that literature isn't just entertainment, it's a mirror." "A mirror," he smiled slightly. "Dangerous thing, showing people their own reflection. Only if they don't like what they see." "And do you like what you see, Miss Brooks, when you look in the mirror?" The question felt loaded. "Intimate?" Sarah shifted uncomfortably beside us. "I'm going to find Brandon," she announced. "You too. Chat." "Sarah," I started, but she was already gone, swallowed by the crowd. Damian watched his daughter leave, then turned back to me. "She does that, abandons people to see if they'll sink or swim. And which am I doing?" "Still deciding." He took a sip of scotch. "You look uncomfortable." "I am uncomfortable. This isn't my world." "No." He gestured at the room. "What's wrong with it?" "Everything. The wealth, the pretension, the way everyone's performing instead of living." "Honest." He stepped closer, just slightly. "I appreciate that. Most people at these things tell me exactly what they think I want to hear." "What do you want to hear?" His gaze intensified. "Nothing you were prepared to say." My pulse jumped. This was Sarah's father, my best friend's father. I should excuse myself, find Sarah, stay far away from whatever this was. Instead, I said, "Try me." His jaw tightened. "You should walk away from me, Elena." The use of my first name felt deliberate, crossing a line. "Why? Because I'm dangerous, and you're smart enough to know it." "Are you threatening me?" "Warning you." "From what? Me?" We stared at each other. The ballroom faded, the music, the people, everything. There was only him, this man I'd known for 3 minutes, this man who was 34 years older than me, this man who was supposed to be off limits in every possible way. "I should find Sarah," I whispered. "Yes, you should." Neither of us moved. "Mr. Moretti." Damian. Damian. His name felt wrong in my mouth, too intimate. "This, whatever this is, it can't happen." "I know. You're 58. I know. I'm 24. I know. And you're your best friend's father." "Yes, Elena, I know all of it." He leaned in, his voice dropping. "And in approximately 30 seconds, I'm going to walk away from you. I'm going to spend the rest of this party avoiding you. And tomorrow I'm going to pretend we never met. Because you're absolutely right, this can't happen." "Then why are we still standing here?" "Because I'm giving us both something to remember. 30 seconds of honesty before a lifetime of pretending." His eyes burned into mine. "In another life, Elena Brooks, I would have pursued you relentlessly. Age be damned. Propriety be damned. I would have made you mine in every way that matters." I couldn't breathe. "You can't say things like that." "I know. That's why I'm walking away now." He did. just turned and disappeared into the crowd, leaving me shaking in the middle of a ballroom full of strangers. I found Sarah 20 minutes later, drunk and giggling with Brandon's banker friends. "Did you meet Dad?" she asked, her words slurring slightly. "Yes." "And what did you think?" What did I think? I thought her father had just upended my entire world in 5 minutes. I thought I'd never felt chemistry like that in my life. I thought I was the worst friend in the history of friendship for the things I was feeling. "He seems intense," I managed. Sarah laughed. "That's diplomatic. Most people find him terrifying." "Do you, her smile faded. "Sometimes when I remember what he's capable of." "What does that mean?" "Nothing. Forget it. I'm drunk." She hugged me. "Thank you for coming. It means everything." Guilt clawed at my throat. Always. I left at midnight, grateful to escape. Drove home through empty streets, trying to convince myself that what I'd felt was just attraction. Physical, meaningless. The kind of thing that would fade with time and distance. I almost believed it, until I found the envelope on my windshield the next morning. Inside, a single card, heavy stock, expensive, and one sentence in bold masculine handwriting: "Run far, run fast, before I forget every reason I should let you. DM." My hands shook. He'd been to my apartment, found my car, left a message that was simultaneously a warning and a challenge. This was insane. He was Sarah's father, 58 years old, clearly involved in something shady if Sarah was afraid of what he was capable of. I should call Sarah, tell her everything, burn this bridge before it could be built. Instead, I put the card in my nightstand drawer and spent the next 3 days thinking about Damian Moretti every waking moment. On Thursday, he showed up at my school. I walked out of the building at 3:47 p.m., exhausted from parent-teacher conferences, and found him leaning against a black Mercedes in the parking lot. Suit perfectly tailored, dark sunglasses, looking like he owned the world and was merely tolerating its existence. Students streamed past staring, teachers slowed whispering. I walked straight to him, fury overwhelming common sense. "What the hell are you doing here? Waiting for you. You can't just show up at my workplace." And yet, he removed his sunglasses and those dark eyes pinned me again. "We need to talk." "No, we don't. You're Sarah's father. That's the extent of our relationship." "Is it?" He stepped closer, voice dropping. "Then why haven't you told her about the note?" My stomach dropped. "How did you?" "Because if it meant nothing, if I meant nothing, you would have shown it to her. Laughed about her weird debt, made it a funny story." His gaze burned. "But you didn't. You kept it, and that tells me everything I need to know." "You're delusional." "Am I?" "Then prove it. Take out your phone right now and call Sarah. Tell her I left you a note. Tell her I'm at your school. Tell her—" He leaned in, his breath warm against my ear. "Tell her you haven't stopped thinking about me either." I jerked back. "You're insane." "Probably." He straightened. "Have dinner with me." "Absolutely not." "Coffee then." "No." "Why not?" "Because you're 58 years old, I'm 24, and you're my best friend's father." I hissed the last word, aware of the students still lingering. This is inappropriate on every level. Age is irrelevant. To predators, maybe. His expression went cold. "Apart then damn. I am many things, Elena. A predator isn't one of them. I don't pursue unwilling women. I don't manipulate. I don't lie." He stepped back. "But you're right. This is inappropriate. Impossible, which is why I'm going to leave now, and I won't contact you again." He started to turn. "Wait," I heard myself say. He paused. "Why, hey?" The word came out broken. "And why me? You could have anyone, younger, more beautiful, without the complication of being Sarah's friend. You think there's someone more beautiful than you?" He turned back, and the intensity in his eyes made my knees weak. "You think age matters when I look at you and see intelligence, fire, strength? You think the complication isn't exactly what makes this so goddamn compelling?" "Compelling," I repeated. "This is my best friend's father we're talking about. I know exactly who I am to you and to her." His voice roughened. "Do you think I wanted this, to look at my daughter's friend and feel things I haven't felt in 20 years? To lie awake wondering what your voice sounds like first thing in the morning? To imagine—" He stopped. "This is hell, Elena. Beautiful, perfect hell." I couldn't breathe. "You can't say these things." "I know, so I'm leaving, and I meant what I said. I won't contact you again. You're safe from me." What if I don't want to be safe? The words fell between us like grenades. Damien froze. Don't. Don't what? Don't say things you don't mean. Don't play games with something this dangerous. Don't, his control cracked. Don't look at me like that unless you understand exactly what you're inviting. And what am I inviting? Ruin. He said it simply. Mine, yours, Sarah's, everyone's. Because if you take one step toward me, Elena, I won't let you go. Age, propriety, friendship, none of it will matter. I'll keep you, make you mine, and damn every consequence. My heart hammered. That's insane. Yes. We barely know each other. Irrelevant. Sarah would never forgive me. Probably not. Then why? Because some things are inevitable. He moved closer and I could smell him, expensive cologne scotch, something darker underneath. Because I looked at you across that ballroom and recognized something I didn't know I'd been missing. Because you're 24 and brilliant and should run screaming from me, but you're still standing here. His hand rose, hovering near my cheek but not touching. Because I'm 58 years old and I've never felt this alive. A student walked by, staring openly now. I stepped back, reality crashing in. This is my job, my career. You need to leave. Elena, please, my voice broke. Please just go. He studied me for a long moment, then nodded once. As you wish. He got in the Mercedes and drove away without looking back. I made it to my car before I started shaking. Made it home before I started crying. Made it to my couch before I admitted the truth. I wanted him. God help me, I wanted him. That night, Sarah called. Hey, want to grab dinner? I feel like we haven't really talked since the party. Guilt stabbed through me. Sure, tomorrow that new Italian place in Soho. Perfect. Great, and Lena? Her voice softened. Is everything okay? You sound off. Just tired, school stuff. You sure? Because you can tell me anything. You know that, right? The irony was suffocating. I know, I promise I'm fine. We met at the restaurant at 7. Sarah looked radiant, showing off her engagement ring to the waiter, talking about wedding plans, flowers, venues, whether Brandon's mother would approve of a destination wedding. You'll be my maid of honor, obviously, she said, grinning at me over pasta. Obviously. I echoed, my throat tight. And I want you to give a speech, something beautiful and literary. Make everyone cry. She squeezed my hand. You're my best friend, Lena, my sister. I don't know what I'd do without you. I was going to hell. Actually, literally hell. I love you too, I managed. Good, because I need you to help me with something. Sarah's expression turned serious. It's about my dad. My blood turned to ice. What about him? He's been different since the party. Distracted. Mom says he's been working from home more, which is weird. He usually lives at the office, and he asked about you again yesterday. He did. Yeah, I wanted to know if you'd had a good time, if you felt comfortable. It was sweet, actually. Dad doesn't usually care about my friends. She paused. Did something happen between you two? What? No, we barely talked. Are you sure? Because he's never asked about any of my friends before? Ever. And now he's asking about you multiple times. My heart raced. We had a brief conversation about literature. That's it. Maybe he was just being polite. Sarah studied me. Maybe, but Dad doesn't do polite. He does strategic. And I know that look. What look? The one you get when you're lying to me. Panic clawed at my throat. Sarah, it's okay. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. I'm not mad, I'm just worried about you, about him, about whatever's happening that you're not telling me. Nothing's happening. Lena, she reached across the table, gripping my hand. I need to tell you something about my father. Something I should have told you before the party. My stomach dropped. Okay. His business. It's not exactly legal. I don't know all the details. He's kept me separate from it my whole life, but I know enough. He's dangerous, Lena. Like actually dangerous. People are afraid of him for real reasons. Her eyes filled with tears. And if he's showing interest in you, if he's asking about you, I need you to stay away from him. Promise me. Sarah. Promise me, Lena. Please. I've seen what happens to women in his world. They get pulled in, can't get out, end up collateral damage in wars they didn't start. And you... Her voice broke. You're good, pure, you grade papers and read poetry and believe in happy endings. You don't belong anywhere near his life. The irony was devastating. She was trying to protect me from the very thing I couldn't stop thinking about. I promise, I whispered. I'll stay away from him. Thank you. She wiped her eyes. God, I'm sorry. This is supposed to be a fun dinner and I'm being dramatic. You're not dramatic. You're being a good friend. If only she knew how terrible a friend I was. We finished dinner, hugged goodbye, and I drove home through Manhattan traffic, hating myself more with every mile. My phone buzzed at a red light. Unknown number. Did you tell her DM? I stared at the message. How did he get my number? Stupid question. He was Damian Moretti. He could probably get anything. I shouldn't respond, should block the number, delete the message. Instead, I typed, how did you get this number? His response came immediately. Does it matter? Yes. I wanted to hear from you, so I found a way. Did you tell her? Tell her what? That her father is stalking me? Is that what I'm doing? I pulled over, hands shaking too hard to drive safely. What do you call showing up at my school and texting me? Inevitability. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have. Did you tell her? I closed my eyes. She told me to stay away from you. A pause, then smart girl. She said you're dangerous. I am. She said women in your world become collateral damage. They do. Then why are you doing this? Why pursue me if it's so dangerous? The response took longer this time. Because some risks are worth taking, and you, Elena Brooks, are worth every single one. My heart hammered. This is crazy. Yes. It can never work. Probably not. Sarah would hate me. Almost certainly. Then why? Because I'm 58 years old and I've spent the last 30 years building an empire, controlling everything, everyone, playing the long game, calculating every move. And then I met you. And for the first time in decades, I don't care about control. I don't care about strategy. I just want. I stared at the message, tears blurring my vision. Want what? You in every way, for as long as you'll let me. This was insane. He was Sarah's father, 58, involved in illegal things, dangerous. I should block his number. Go home. Pretend this conversation never happened. My fingers moved across the screen. I'm at the corner of 5th and 47th. If you're serious, come get me. I sent it before I could change my mind. Then I weighted my heart in my throat, knowing I was about to cross a line I could never uncross. Knowing I was betraying Sarah in the worst possible way. Knowing everything about this was wrong. 10 minutes later, the black Mercedes pulled up beside me. Damian got out, walked around to my passenger door, opened it. Last chance, he said quietly. You can walk away right now. I'll delete your number. Never contact you again. You can go back to your life and I'll stay a ghost. I looked up at him. This man who was older than my father, who ran an illegal empire, who was my best friend's dad. And I got in the car. Drive, I whispered. He did. And that was the moment Elena Brooks ceased to exist. The girl who'd been Sarah's loyal friend, who graded papers and drank tea and lived a quiet, moral life, she died in that passenger seat. What replaced her was something darker. Selfish, willing to sacrifice friendship for desire. A monster. Damian drove to a penthouse in Tribeca, all steel and glass, and views of the city that glittered like broken promises. This is your place, I asked, stepping inside. One of them. How many do you have? Does it matter? I suppose not. I walked to the window, staring out at Manhattan. What happens now? I heard him move behind me, felt his presence like heat against my back. Now you decide, he said quietly, whether this is just tonight, just once to get it out of your system, or whether it's more. And if it's more, then everything changes. Your life, mine, Sarah's. His hand touched my shoulder like giving me space to pull away. No going back. I should run, should call Sarah, should do anything except what I was about to do. Oh, instead, I turned to face him. I'm 24, I whispered. You're 58. This is the most inappropriate thing I've ever done. I know. Sarah's my best friend. This will destroy her. I know. I'm a terrible person for even being here. No, you're human. His hand rose to my face, cupping my cheek with surprising gentleness. And I'm selfish enough to take what you're offering, even knowing the cost. What am I offering? Everything. He was right. That's what this was offering, everything. My friendship with Sarah, my moral high ground, my self-respect. For what? For a man 34 years older, for something that couldn't possibly last. But when he kissed me, slow, deep, devastating, none of that mattered. We didn't make it to the bedroom. Hours later, tangled in expensive sheets, Damien's phone buzzed. He ignored it. It buzzed again. You should check that, I murmured against his chest. He grabbed the phone, glanced at it, and his entire body tensed. What is it? Sarah, she's texted me 17 times. He showed me the screen. Dad, call me Dad. This is important. Why aren't you answering? Are you okay? I'm worried. Guilt crashed over me like a wave. Oh God. I need to call her back. What are you going to tell her? That I was in a meeting. That my phone died. I don't know. He sat up, running a hand through his hair. But I'm not telling her about you. Not yet. Not ever, I corrected. We can't tell her. Ever. He looked at me and something in his expression made my chest ache. Is that what you want? To be a secret. What I want doesn't matter. She's my best friend. This would kill her. So what are you suggesting? We meet in secret, lie to her face. Pretend this, he gestured between us, doesn't exist. I don't know. I pulled the sheet around myself, suddenly aware of how naked I was, how exposed. I haven't thought that far ahead. I just know I can't lose her. And me. The question hung in the air. I don't know, I whispered again. Damien stood pulled, on his pants, called Sarah back. I listened to him lie smoothly, easily telling her he'd been in back-to-back meetings. His phone had died, yes. He was fine, no need to worry. When he hung up, he turned to me. She's planning brunch tomorrow. With you, me, Catherine, and Brandon. Some wedding thing. My stomach dropped. I can't. You have to. If you cancel, she'll know something's wrong. I can't sit across from her pretending I didn't just sleep with her father. Then what do you suggest, Elena? Because we made this choice. Now we live with the consequences. The word consequences echoed in my mind as I got dressed, called an Uber, went home to my empty apartment. I'd crossed the line, betrayed my best friend, slept with a man old enough to be my father, who was someone's father. And the worst part, I wanted to do it again. My phone buzzed at 2 a.m. Damien. I can still taste you. I should ignore it, should establish boundaries. Instead, good. Tomorrow will be hell. I know. We can still stop this before it goes further. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. Then I don't want to stop. Neither do I. God help us both. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, knowing I'd just committed to the worst decision of my life. And I didn't care, because for the first time in my careful, controlled existence, I felt alive. Even if it meant becoming the monster. Even if it meant losing everything. Tomorrow, I'd sit across from Sarah and smile and lie. And the day after, I'd do it again and again, until the inevitable moment when it all came crashing down. But tonight, I let myself exist in this perfect, terrible moment, where I was 24 and reckless and completely catastrophically in love with the one man I could never, ever have. Sarah's father, the mafia boss, the man who would ruin my life, and I chose him anyway. Brunch was at 11. Elena arrived at 10:58, her hands shaking so badly she had to grip the steering wheel for a full minute before getting out of her car. The restaurant was one of those places where they didn't list prices on the menu. White tablecloths, actual silver, waiters who moved like ghosts. Sarah waved from a corner table, radiant in a pale pink dress. Catherine sat beside her, elegant as always. Brandon checked his phone, looking bored. And Damien, dark suit, reading glasses perched on his nose as he studied the menu. He glanced up as Elena approached, and their eyes met for exactly half a second before he looked away. That half second burned through her like lightning. Lena! Sarah jumped up, hugging her tight. You look exhausted. Are you okay? Didn't sleep well, Elena managed. True enough. Well, sit. We already ordered mimosas. Sarah pulled her into the chair directly across from Damien. Of course. Dad was just telling us about his trip to Boston next week. Elena's gaze snapped to Damien. He met her eyes briefly, something dark flickering there. Business, he said simply. 3 days. Boring business, Sarah added. Import-export stuff. Dad, you're making Elena's eyes glaze over already. My apologies. Damien's voice was perfectly controlled. Miss Brooks, how was school? Miss Brooks, like they were strangers. Fine, busy. We're starting Gatsby with the juniors. Ambitious, Most of them won't understand it. Most adults don't understand it, Elena shot back. Doesn't mean we shouldn't try. Something shifted in his expression, almost a smile. Fair point. Oh God, are you two going to argue about books all brunch? Sarah groaned. Brandon saved me. Brandon looked up from his phone. Catherine laughed softly. Let them debate, darling. It's refreshing to see Damien engage with someone. The mimosas arrived. Elena drank hers too fast, desperate for the alcohol to steady her nerves. Under the table, her phone buzzed. She glanced down. Text from Damien. You're beautiful when you're nervous. Her hand jerked, nearly knocking over her water glass. Careful. Sarah steadied it. Seriously, are you okay? You're acting really weird. Just tired, Elena repeated, shoving her phone in her purse. The brunch lasted 2 hours. 2 hours of smiling across the table at Sarah while Damien's presence burned through her like radiation. 2 hours of discussing wedding flowers and seating charts while remembering exactly what his hands felt like on her skin. 2 hours of being the worst friend in the world. When it finally ended, Sarah walked her to the parking lot. So real talk. What's going on with you? Nothing, I promise. Lena. Sarah grabbed her arm. I've known you for 6 years. You're lying to me. And you never lie to me. Guilt clawed at Elena's throat. I'm just stressed about work. Is it a guy? Elena's heart stopped. What? You have that look, like you're distracted by someone. Are you seeing someone? No, God, no. When would I have time to date? Sarah studied her face, then sighed. Okay, but if something was wrong, you'd tell me, right? We don't keep secrets. The irony was suffocating. Right, no secrets. They hugged goodbye. Elena made it to her car before the guilt became unbearable. She sat there, forehead against the steering wheel, hating herself. Her phone rang. Damien, don't answer, she whispered to herself. She answered. Where are you? His voice was rough. Parking lot, Sarah just left. Good, because I need to see you, now. Damien, we just spent 2 hours together. That wasn't together. That was torture. I sat across from you for 2 hours watching you smile at my daughter while all I could think about was Thursday night. Heat flooded through her. We can't do this. I'm sending you an address. Be there in 30 minutes. I'm not one of your employees. You can't just order me around. You're right, I'm asking. Please, Elena, I need to see you. The please broke her. Send the address. It was another penthouse. Different building, same obscene wealth. Damien was waiting when she arrived, still in his suit from brunch, but he'd lost the tie. His collar was open. He looked dangerous and desperate and completely undone. We shouldn't be doing this, Elena said even as she walked toward him. I know. Sarah's my best friend. I know. This is going to end badly. Probably. He pulled her against him and she went willingly. But right now, I don't care. They didn't talk after that. Didn't need to. The guilt would come later. The self-loathing. The knowledge that she was betraying someone she loved. But for now, there was just this. Just him. Just the way he looked at her like she was the only thing in the world that mattered. Hours later, wrapped in his sheets again, Elena's phone rang. Sarah's ringtone. Don't answer, Damien murmured against her shoulder. I have to. She'll worry. She grabbed the phone. Hey, where are you? Sarah asked. I've been texting you for an hour. Elena's stomach dropped. She'd left her phone on silent. Sorry, I was napping. Didn't hear it. At 3 in the afternoon. Are you getting sick? Maybe, I don't know, just exhausted. Well, wake up because I need you. Brandon and I just had a massive fight, and I'm losing my mind. Can I come over? Panic flooded through Elena. She was in Damien's bed, naked, with Damien's hand currently trailing down her spine. Actually, I'm not home. I'm at the gym. You don't go to the gym. I'm trying something new. Damien's shoulders shook with a silent laughter. Elena swatted at him. Okay, weirdo. Well, call me when you're done being healthy. I need to vent about Brandon's mother. Sarah paused. Hey, at brunch, did you think my dad was acting strange? Elena's blood turned to ice. Strange how? I don't know. He kept looking at his phone, smiling at it. Dad never smiles at his phone. Mom noticed too. Sarah's voice dropped. Do you think he's seeing someone? What? Why would you think that? Because he's been different since his birthday, distracted, almost happy. And Dad's never happy. He's competent and controlled and terrifying, but not happy. Maybe he's just in a good mood. Damien Moretti doesn't do good moods. Something's going on. Sarah sighed. Anyway, I'm probably paranoid. Call me later. Okay. Okay, love you. Love you too. Elena hung up and immediately buried her face in the pillow. Oh, God. She knows, Damien said quietly. She suspects you're seeing someone. She doesn't know it's me. Yet. There can't be a yet. We need to stop this. Elena sat up, clutching the sheet to her chest. Before it goes any further. Before we destroy her. We've already destroyed her, Damien said, his voice hard. The moment we slept together, we crossed that line. Stopping now doesn't change what we've done. So what, we just keep lying, keep sneaking around for how long? I don't know. That's not an answer. What do you want me to say, Elena? That we can tell her the truth, that she'll understand. He sat up and the raw pain in his eyes gutted her. She's my daughter. I love her more than anything in this world. And I'm betraying her with her best friend. There's no good answer here. Then why are we doing this? Because I can't stop. Can you? Elena opened her mouth to say yes, to say this was a mistake, to say they needed to end it now before anyone else got hurt. But the word wouldn't come. That's what I thought, Damien said quietly. She left an hour later, driving home through Manhattan traffic with tears streaming down her face. This was insane, unsustainable, wrong on every level. But when her phone buzzed with a text from Damien, already missing you, she texted back immediately. Me too. The affair continued. That's what it was. She couldn't pretend otherwise. An affair, secret meetings in Damien's penthouses, stolen hours while Sarah thought Elena was at yoga or grading papers or doing literally anything except sleeping with her father. 2 weeks and Sarah started planning her bachelorette party. Vegas, she announced over coffee. 3 days. You, me, my college friends, and Mom. Your mom is coming to Vegas. She insists, says she wants to bond with my friends. Sarah rolled her eyes, which really means she wants to make sure we don't do anything too scandalous. But whatever, it'll be fun. You're in, right? Of course. Perfect. We leave in 2 weeks. And Lena, Sarah's expression softened. Thank you for being here, for being you. I know I've been bridezilla lately, and you've been so patient. Guilt stabbed through Elena's chest. You're not bridezilla. I am, but you love me anyway. Sarah squeezed her hand. You're the best friend I could ask for. Elena excused herself to the bathroom and threw up. That night at Damien's place, she told him about Vegas. 3 days without you, he said, pulling her close. Unacceptable. It's Sarah's bachelorette party. I have to go. I know. His hand tangled in her hair. Doesn't mean I have to like it. Damien, Elena pulled back to look at him. Now, we need to talk about what this is. What do you mean? I mean, are we just sleeping together? Is this just physical, or is it? She couldn't finish the sentence. More, he finished quietly. It's more. You know it is. Then what happens? We can't keep doing this forever. Eventually Sarah will find out, or someone will see us, or I'll slip up and say something. And then what? Damien was quiet for a long moment. I don't know. That's not good enough. What do you want me to say? That will tell her, that will sit her down and explain that her best friend is fucking her 58-year-old father. His voice was harsh. She'll hate us both. She'll cut us out of her life completely. Is that what you want? No, but I can't keep lying to her face. It's killing me. Then end it. Walk away. Go back to your life. Can you, Elena challenged, can you just walk away and forget about this? His jaw clenched. No. Then we're trapped. Yes. They stared at each other, the impossible weight of the situation crushing down on them both. I'm falling in love with you, Elena whispered, and I hate myself for it. Damien's expression cracked. I fell in love with you the moment you argued with me about Morrison, and I've hated myself every day since. We're terrible people. Yes. This is going to end badly. Almost certainly. Then why does it feel so right? Because sometimes the worst things are. He pulled her against him and she felt his heart racing against hers. I'm 58 years old, Elena. I've built an empire, controlled everything, everyone. And you've destroyed all of that in 3 weeks. You've made me selfish, reckless, willing to sacrifice everything, including my relationship with my daughter, just to keep you. That's not love, that's obsession. Maybe, but it's all I have to offer. Elena kissed him, then desperate and angry and completely unable to stop herself. This was wrong, doomed, the worst decision she'd ever made, but she couldn't walk away. 3 days before Vegas, everything changed. Elena was leaving school when a man approached her in the parking lot. Late 30s, expensive suit, cold eyes. Miss Brooke, yes. I need you to come with me. Fear spiked through her. Who are you? Someone who works for someone who's very interested in your relationship with Damian Moretti. Elena's blood ran cold. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't insult my intelligence. You've been seen entering his buildings multiple times. Late at night. The man smiled, and it was terrifying. Mr. Moretti has enemies. People who would love to know about his weaknesses. And you, Miss Brooks, are a very interesting weakness. I'm leaving. Elena turned toward her car. The man grabbed her arm. I don't think so. Let go of me or I scream. And then what? You explain to the police why a mafia boss's enemies are threatening you? That'll be an interesting conversation. Elena's mind raced. What do you want? Information about Moretti's operations, his business dealings, his vulnerabilities. I don't know anything about his business. Then you better learn, because if you don't help us, we'll make sure his daughter knows exactly what you've been doing with her father. The man released her arm. You have 48 hours to decide. Help us, or we destroy both of you. He walked away, leaving Elena shaking in the parking lot. She called Damian immediately. Someone just threatened me. One of your enemies. They know about us. They want information or they'll tell Sarah. Silence. Then, where are you? School parking lot. Stay there, I'm sending someone. Damian, don't move, don't talk to anyone, I'm handling this. 20 minutes later, a black SUV pulled up. Not Damian, a man who introduced himself as Marcus, head of Damian's security. He drove her to yet another penthouse. Apparently, Damian had an unlimited supply where Damian was waiting. He pulled her into his arms the moment she walked in. Are you hurt? No, just scared. Did he touch you? He grabbed my arm, that's all. Damian's entire body went rigid. Did you see his face? Could you identify him? Yes. Good. He pulled out his phone, made a call. I need you to pull security footage from Hunter College, parking lot, between 3:15 and 3:30 today. Find the man who approached Elena Brooks. I want his name, his address, and everyone he's ever worked for. You have 2 hours. He hung up and turned it back to Elena. This is my fault. I should have been more careful. Should have known they'd come after you. Who are they? Rivals, people who want my territory, my connections, my power. In my world, you find weaknesses and exploit them. His hand cupped her face. And you're my biggest weakness. Damian, they threatened to tell Sarah. If we don't give them information, we're not giving them anything. Then they'll tell her. No, they won't. His voice was ice. Because they'll be dead before they get the chance. Elena jerked back. What? You think I'm joking? You think I'm going to let someone threaten you and walk away? His eyes were dark, dangerous. I've killed for less, Elena. Much less. You've killed people. Many people. The reality of who he was, what he was, crashed over her like a wave. Oh my God. This is what I am, what I do. I told you I was dangerous. This is what that means. Elena's hands shook. I need to sit down. She sank onto the couch trying to process. Damian Moretti, Sarah's father, the man she was in love with, was a killer. How many? She asked quietly. Does it matter? Yes. He was quiet for a long moment. I stopped counting at 20. 20 human beings, dead by his hand. Are you going to run now? Damian asked, his voice carefully neutral. Now that you know what I really am. Elena looked up at him. This man who'd made her feel alive for the first time in her life, who'd destroyed her moral compass, who'd turned her into someone she didn't recognize. This man who'd killed 20 people. I should, she whispered. But you won't. No, I won't. Something broke in his expression. You're either the bravest woman I've ever met or the most foolish. Probably both. She stood, walked to him. What happens now? Now I make sure no one ever threatens you again. He pulled her close. And you go to Vegas with Sarah and pretend everything's normal. Can you do that? I've been pretending for 3 weeks. 3 more days. Then you come back to me. She kissed him, tasting desperation and danger and something deeper she couldn't name. I love you. she said against his mouth. Even though I shouldn't. Even though you're a killer and I'm a terrible friend, and this is the worst idea either of us has ever had. I love you. I love you too. His arms tightened around her. God help us both. That night, Elena went home and packed for Vegas. 3 days with Sarah and Catherine and people who thought she was a good person. 3 days of pretending her entire life wasn't built on lies. Her phone buzzed. Damien, the man who threatened you won't be a problem anymore. She stared at the message knowing exactly what it meant. Someone was dead because of her. She should feel horror, guilt, something. Instead, she felt safe. That's when Elena knew she was lost completely. When the idea of Damien killing to protect her didn't horrify her, it comforted her. She was in love with a monster, and she'd become one too. Vegas was exactly what Elena expected. Excess noise, Sarah drunk and happy, Catherine elegant even in a nightclub. Elena smiled and danced and pretended everything was fine while her phone stayed silent because Damien was handling business she didn't want to think about. The second night, Sarah cornered her in the hotel bathroom. Okay, Spill, what's his name? Whose name? The guy you're seeing. You keep checking your phone. You get this look. You're distracted. Sarah grinned. Come on, I won't tell anyone. Who is he? Elena's throat closed. There's no one. Lena, I'm your best friend. I know when you're lying. I'm not. Is he married? Is that why you won't tell me? Sarah's expression softened. Because if he is, you need to end it. I know it's hard, but you deserve better than being someone's secret. The irony was devastating. He's not married, Elena managed. Then what is he older, younger, ugly? Sarah laughed. Wait, is he a student? Oh my God, is it a parent? Each guess felt like a knife. Sarah, please, can we just drop it? No, because you're my best friend and you're clearly falling for someone and I want to know who he is. I want to meet him. I want to make sure he's good enough for you. He's not. The words came out broken. He's not good enough for me. He's wrong in every possible way. And I should walk away, but I can't. Sarah's smile faded. Lena, you're scaring me. Who is this guy? I can't tell you. Why not? Because if I do, you'll hate me, and I can't lose you. You could never do anything that would make me hate you. Ever. Sarah grabbed her hands. Whatever this is, we'll figure it out together. That's what best friends do. Elena pulled away, tears streaming down her face. Not this time. She locked herself in a stall and cried silently while Sarah begged her to open the door to talk to her, to let her help. But there was no help for this. No fixing it, no way out except through the inevitable explosion that would destroy them all. The third day in Vegas, Elena's phone rang at 4 a.m. Damien. What's wrong? She answered immediately. Everything's handled. You're safe. What did you do? What I had to. Don't ask for details. She didn't want to know. Okay. How's Sarah? The question surprised her. Drunk, happy, suspicious. Suspicious? She knows I'm seeing someone. She's been interrogating me. Elena closed her eyes. She wants to meet him, make sure he's good enough for me. Damien laughed bitter and raw. What did you tell her? That he's wrong for me? That I should walk away? You should. So should you. I know, but I'm too selfish. His voice dropped. Come home tomorrow, please. I need to see you. I will. Elena, yes. When this all falls apart, and it will, I want you to know that you were worth it. All of it. The lies, the guilt, everything. Don't say that. It's true. It makes it worse. I know. They hung up. Elena stared at the ceiling of her hotel room, knowing tomorrow she'd fly home and go straight to Damien, knowing she'd keep lying to Sarah, knowing eventually the truth would come out and destroy them all. But for now, she let herself exist in this moment, in love with a killer, betraying her best friend, becoming someone she'd never imagined she could be, and hating that she didn't hate it enough to stop. Elena's plane landed at JFK at noon. She texted Damien before she'd even collected her luggage. I'm home. His response came immediately. My driver is outside, gate 7. Sarah was texting her too. Safe flight, coffee, tomorrow need to talk. The guilt was becoming a physical thing, lodged in Elena's chest like a tumor. She typed back, exhausted. Maybe Wednesday. You've been avoiding me. I haven't. You have. Ever since Vegas. Ever since I asked about the mystery guy. Elena stared at the message, her hands shaking. Sarah knew. Maybe not everything, but she knew something was wrong. I promise I'm not avoiding you. Just tired. Wednesday for sure. Okay, love you. Love you too. The lie tasted like poison. Marcus was waiting at gate 7 in the black SUV. He nodded at her, professional as always, and drove her straight to Damien's penthouse in Tribeca. Damien was waiting by the window, still in his suit from whatever business he'd been conducting. He turned when she walked in, and the relief on his face was devastating. 3 days felt like 3 years, he said quietly. Elena dropped her bag and walked straight into his arms. I can't keep doing this. I know. Sarah suspects something. She kept asking about who I'm seeing. She wanted to meet him, make sure he's good enough for me. Elena pulled back to look at him. How long before she figures it out? Hopefully never. That's not realistic. I know. Damien's hand cupped her face. But I'm not ready to lose you yet. Yet, Elena repeated, like it's inevitable. Isn't it? She couldn't argue with that. This was always going to end badly. The only question was when and how much damage it would cause. I'm tired of lying to her, Elena whispered. Then tell her. And watch her hate both of us. Watch her cut us out of her life completely. At least it would be honest. You want me to tell her, Elena stared at him. You want me to sit down with my best friend and explain that I've been sleeping with her 58-year-old father for the past month. No, I want you to keep lying because I'm too selfish to let you go. But that's not fair to you. Nothing about this is fair. Elena sank onto the couch, exhausted. To any of us. Damien sat beside her, close but not touching. I can end this, right now, make it clean. You go back to your life, I stay away, we pretend this never happened. Can you do that? If it's what you need, yes. Elena looked at him. This man who'd killed for her, who'd upended her entire world, who'd made her feel more alive than she'd ever felt. What if I can't? She asked quietly. Then we keep going, until we can't anymore. That's a terrible plan. It's the only one we have. She kissed him, then desperate and angry and completely unable to stop herself. They made love on the couch, then the floor, then finally the bedroom. And through it all, Elena felt the clock ticking down to the inevitable moment when everything would shatter. After wrapped in expensive sheets, Damien's phone rang. He glanced at it and tensed. Who is it? Elena asked. Catherine. Your wife? Ex-wife. We've been divorced for 10 years, he answered. Catherine. Elena could hear her voice through the phone, musical and warm. Damien's responses were clipped, careful. When he hung up, his expression was dark. What's wrong? She wants to have dinner, the 4 of us. Me, her, Sarah, and Brandon. Some pre-wedding family thing. Okay? She suggested we invite you, since you're Sarah's best friend and practically family. Elena's stomach dropped. No. That's what I said. Catherine thought it was odd. What did you tell her? That you'd probably be busy. She said she'd asked Sarah to convince you. He looked at her. We can't avoid this forever. Watch me try. But 2 hours later, Sarah called. Dad told me Mom wants a family dinner and you're invited. Please say you'll come. Mom adores you, and it would make the whole thing less awkward. Sarah, please, I know you've been weird lately, and I don't know what's going on with you, but I need you there. Brandon's being difficult, Dad's being Dad, and I just need one person who's actually on my side. The guilt was unbearable. Of course I'll be there. Thank you. You're the best. Friday night, 7 o'clock, that Italian place you love in Soho. Elena hung up and looked at Damien. We're screwed. Probably. I can't sit through dinner with your entire family pretending I'm not sleeping with you. You've been doing it for a month. Not with everyone at the same table, not with Catherine there. So what do you want to do? Cancel, tell Sarah you're sick. That'll just make her more suspicious. Then we go. We act normal. We get through it. And if I slip up, if I look at you the wrong way and Sarah notices, then we deal with it. His voice was hard. Together. The days leading up to Friday were torture. Elena threw herself into work grading papers until her eyes burned, staying late at school to avoid going home to her empty apartment, where all she did was think about Damien and Sarah and the inevitable disaster approaching. Wednesday afternoon, Sarah showed up at her classroom unannounced. We need to talk, she said, closing the door behind her. Elena's heart stopped. About what? about whatever's been going on with you for the past month. And don't say nothing because I know you. You've been distant, distracted, lying to me about where you are and who you're with. Sarah crossed her arms. So I'm going to ask you one more time. Who is he? Sarah. Is he married? No. Is he dangerous? Elena's breath caught. Why would you ask that? And because you look scared. All the time. Like you're waiting for something bad to happen. Sarah's eyes filled with tears. You're my best friend, Lena. If someone's hurting you, you can tell me. I'll help you, whatever it is. No one's hurting me. Then what? Because this isn't you. You don't lie, you don't hide things. And now you're doing both, and it's killing me. Elena wanted to tell her everything. Wanted to confess and beg forgiveness and hope that somehow Sarah would understand. But the words stuck in her throat. I'm in love with someone I shouldn't be in love with, Elena said finally, and I don't know how to stop. Why shouldn't you be in love with him? Because he's wrong for me. Because being with him means hurting people I care about. Because, her voice broke. Because if you knew who he was, you'd hate me. Sarah stepped forward, grabbing Elena's hands. I could never hate you, ever, no matter what. Don't say that. You don't know. I know you, and I know that whoever this guy is, you must really love him to be this torn up about it. Sarah squeezed her hands. So bring him to dinner Friday. Let me meet him. Let me see what's worth all this pain. Elena jerked away like she'd been burned. Absolutely not. Why not? Because it's complicated. Everything worth having is complicated. Not like this. Lena, please, Sarah, drop it. I'm begging you. Sarah studied her face for a long moment. Okay, but this isn't over. Sooner or later, you're going to have to tell me the truth. She left. Elena collapsed into her desk chair, shaking. This was unsustainable. The lies were piling up, getting heavier, and eventually they'd crush them all. That night, she told Damien about the conversation. She wanted me to bring you to dinner, Elena said, the irony bitter in her mouth. What did you say? No, obviously. She's not going to stop asking. You know that, right? She's going to keep pushing until she gets answers. Then what do we do? Damien was quiet for a long time. We could tell her, control the narrative, do it on our terms instead of waiting for her to find out. She'll hate us. Probably, but at least the lying would be over. Elena stared at him. You're serious. I'm tired too, Elena. Tired of sneaking around. Tired of seeing my daughter and knowing I'm betraying her. Tired of watching you destroy yourself with guilt. His jaw clenched. Maybe it's time to face the consequences. Or maybe it's time to end this before we hurt her any more than we already have. Is that what you want? I don't know what I want anymore. Yes, you do. You want me and you want Sarah, and you can't have both, and it's tearing you apart. Don't psychoanalyze me. Then tell me I'm wrong. Elena couldn't, because he was right. She wanted them both. Wanted to keep her best friend and the man she loved. Wanted to have her cake and eat it too, consequences be damned. But life didn't work that way. Friday arrived too quickly. Elena changed clothes 4 times, trying to find something that looked normal. Casual. Not like someone who was sleeping with her best friend's father. She settled on a simple black dress and arrived at the restaurant exactly on time. Sarah was already there, radiant in white. Brandon checked his phone, bored as usual. Catherine looked elegant in navy blue. And Damien, dark suit, no tie, looking dangerous and controlled and completely unreadable. Lena, Sarah jumped up, hugging her. You made it. Wouldn't miss it. Catherine kissed her cheek. Elena, darling, it's so good to see you. You too, Catherine. Damien nodded at her. Miss Brooks. Their eyes met for half a second. That was all it took for heat to flood through her. This was going to be a disaster. They sat. Elena ended up between Sarah and Catherine, directly across from Damien. Of course. The waiter brought wine. Elena drank hers too fast, desperate for something to steady her nerves. So, Elena, Catherine said warmly, Sarah tells me you've been distracted lately. Anything exciting happening? Just work? You know how it is. She's being modest, Sarah interjected. She's seeing someone. Won't tell me who, but I can tell she's completely smitten. Elena's wine glass slipped. She caught it, but not before Damien's eyes snapped to hers. How wonderful, Catherine said. Anyone we know, no, and I'm not, we're not serious. That's not what you said in Vegas, Sarah teased. You said you were falling for him. Sarah, I'm just excited for you. You deserve someone great. Sarah turned to her mother. She won't introduce us, says he's complicated. Complicated? How? Catherine asked, genuinely curious. Can we please talk about literally anything else? Elena begged. Oh, leave her alone, Damien said, his voice casual. If she wants to keep her personal life private, that's her right. Sarah turned to her father, surprised. Since when do you defend anyone's privacy? You investigate everyone I date. You're my daughter. It's different. How is it different? Because I trust Elena's judgment. If she says someone's complicated, I'm sure she has good reasons. The way he said it, so careful, so controlled, made Elena's chest ache. Well, I want to meet him, Sarah insisted. Make sure he's good enough for my best friend. No one's good enough for your best friend, Damien said quietly. His eyes met Elena's across the table. The weight of that look, the truth buried in it, felt suffocating. Dad, are you feeling okay? Sarah asked. You're being weird. I'm fine. You're being nice. You're never nice. I'm always nice to people who matter. Catherine laughed softly. He's right, darling. Your father has always had a soft spot for the people he cares about. The conversation shifted to wedding plans, flowers and venues and guest lists. Elena barely heard any of it. She was too aware of Damien across the table, too aware of the way he looked at her when he thought no one was watching, too aware of Sarah's hand on her arm, warm and trusting. Halfway through dinner, Elena excused herself to the bathroom. She stood at the sink trying to breathe, trying to get through this night without shattering completely. The door opened. Catherine walked in. Are you all right, dear? She asked gently. You seem distressed. I'm fine, just tired. Catherine moved to stand beside her, studying her reflection in the mirror. You know, I've known you for several years now. You've always been such a steady presence in Sarah's life, grounded, honest. I try to be. But lately something's changed. Sarah notices it. I notice it. Catherine turned to face her. And I think Damien notices it too. Elena's blood ran cold. What do you mean? He watches you at dinner tonight at his birthday party last month. He watches you the way he used to watch me 30 years ago. Catherine's smile was sad. Like you're the only person in the room. Catherine, I'm not judging, dear. Damien and I have been divorced for a decade. His life is his own. But Sarah, her voice cracked slightly. Sarah adores you. You're the sister she never had. And if something were to happen that would hurt her, it would devastate her. I would never hurt Sarah. Never. Not intentionally, perhaps. But love makes us do terrible things sometimes. Makes us selfish. Catherine touched Elena's arm gently. Whatever's happening, whatever you're caught up in, please think carefully about the consequences. Some choices can't be undone. She left. Elena gripped the sink, shaking. Catherine knew. Maybe not everything, but enough. When Elena returned to the table, Damien was gone. Where's your dad? She asked Sarah. Outside, taking a call, some business thing. Sarah rolled her eyes. Even at family dinner, he can't disconnect. 5 minutes later, Damien returned. His expression was dark controlled, but Elena had learned to read the tension in his shoulders. Everything okay? Catherine asked. Fine. Just work. He signaled the waiter. We should get the check. Early morning tomorrow. They said their goodbyes in the parking lot. Sarah hugged Elena tight. Thank you for coming. I know it was awkward. Not awkward. Nice. Liar. But I love you anyway. Sarah pulled back, studying her face. Seriously, though, this mystery guy, if he makes you happy, I'm happy. But if he hurts you, tell me. I'll destroy him. Elena's throat closed. I know you would. She watched Sarah leave with Brandon and Catherine. Then it was just her and Damien standing 10 feet apart in the parking lot like strangers. Your mother knows, Elena said quietly. I know. She warned me, told me to think about the consequences. Smart woman. This is falling apart, Damien. I know. So what do we do? He looked at her across the distance, and the pain in his eyes gutted her. We survive tonight, and tomorrow, and the next day, until we can't anymore. That's not a plan. It's all I have. Elena went home alone, lay in bed alone, stared at the ceiling alone. Her phone buzzed. Damien, I'm in love with you. Elena. I know. It's destroying us. I know that too. Do you want to stop? She stared at the message for a long time before typing no. Neither do I. God help us. The next week passed in a blur. Elena taught her classes, graded papers, met with Damien whenever they could steal a few hours, lied to Sarah about where she was and what she was doing. The guilt was becoming unbearable. Wednesday night, Sarah called in tears. Brandon and I had a huge fight. Can I come over? Of course. Sarah showed up 20 minutes later, mascara running still in her work clothes. Elena made tea and listened to her vent about Brandon's mother, about wedding stress, about feeling like she was losing herself in all the planning. Sometimes I wonder if I'm making a mistake, Sarah said quietly. Marrying him, he's safe, stable. But is that enough? Do you love him? I think so, but not like... She paused. Not like how you described loving this mystery guy. You said you can't stop thinking about him. That being with him feels inevitable. I don't feel that with Brandon. Then maybe you shouldn't marry him. I can't just cancel the wedding. Everything's planned. Deposits paid. Mom's so excited. Sarah wiped her eyes. Besides, what's the alternative? Wait for some grand passion that might never come. You deserve grand passion. Do I? Or is that just a fantasy? Sarah looked at her. Be honest. This guy you're seeing, is it worth it? All the secrecy and complication? Elena's chest ached. Yes and no, it's the best and worst thing that's ever happened to me. That's not helpful. I know, but it's true. Sarah left around midnight. Elena cleaned up the teacups, then checked her phone. 3 missed calls from Damien. She called him back. Sorry Sarah was here. I know, I tried to call you to warn you. Warn me about what? Brandon came to see me tonight, asked my permission to marry Sarah. Isn't it a little late for that? They're already engaged? That's what I said. Apparently it's a formality. His father insisted. Damien's voice was tight. I told him no. Elena's heart stopped. You what? I told him he doesn't have my permission. That I don't think he's right for her. Damien, you can't. I can, I did. Why would you do that? Because he's not right for her. He checks his phone during family dinners. He doesn't listen when she talks. He treats her like an accessory, not a partner. That's not your decision to make. She's my daughter. She's a grown woman who can make her own choices. Then why is she at your apartment crying because she's not sure she loves him? Elena froze. How did you know she was crying? Silence. Damien, how did you know? I have someone watching your building for your protection. You have someone watching me to keep you safe. That's not protection, that's surveillance. Elena's hands shook. What else are you watching? My phone, my emails. Of course not. I don't believe you. Elena, this is insane. You're insane. We're insane. She was pacing now, anger overwhelming the guilt. You can't control everything. You can't tell Brandon he can't marry Sarah. You can't watch my building. You can't. I can keep you safe. I don't need you to keep me safe. I need you to be honest with me. I am being honest. No, you're being controlling, possessive, exactly like the mafia boss everyone says you are. I am a mafia boss, Elena. That's what I do. I control things. It's how I've survived this long. Well, you can't control me, and you can't control your daughter's life to ease your own guilt about what we're doing. The silence stretched between them, heavy and suffocating. You're right, Damien said finally. I'm sorry. Are you? Or are you just saying that to end the fight? Both, at least that was honest. I can't do this right now, Elena said quietly. I need space. How much space? I don't know. A few days, maybe more. Elena, please, I just need to think. She hung up before he could respond. The next 2 days were agony. No calls, no text, just silence. Elena taught her classes on autopilot, barely present. Sarah texted asking if she was okay. Catherine called to invite her to lunch. Brandon left a voicemail asking if she knew why Damien had refused his request. Everything was falling apart. Friday afternoon, Elena was leaving school when she saw him. Not Damien, the man from before. The one who'd threatened her in the parking lot. He was leaning against her car. Miss Brooks, we meet again. Terror flooded through her. You're supposed to be dead. Did Damien tell you that? How sweet. He smiled cold and cruel. He killed my associate, not me. Honest mistake. What do you want? The same thing I wanted before. Information. Tell Sarah everything. I don't have any information. Then get some. You're sleeping with Damian Moretti. Use it. No. No. He stepped closer. You understand what I'm offering, right? Keep your secrets safe. All you have to do is pillow talk. Find out about his operations, his vulnerabilities. Simple. And if I refuse, then tomorrow morning, Sarah receives a very detailed email with photos, timestamps, proof of every time you've snuck into her father's building. He pulled out his phone, showed her. Nice angle, don't you think? Very clear shot of you kissing him goodnight. Elena stared at the photo. It was from last week. Outside Damian's Tribeca penthouse. Her in his arms. Unmistakable. You have 48 hours, the man said. Help us or Sarah learns the truth. He walked away, leaving Elena shaking in the parking lot. She called Damian immediately. He's alive. The man who threatened me, he just cornered me at school. He has photos of us. He's threatening to send them to Sarah if I don't give him information about your business. Where are you, but school parking lot? Stay there, I'm coming. Damian, he has photos, clear photos of us together. I know, I'll handle it. How you thought you handled it before? This time I'll make sure. 20 minutes later, Damian arrived with Marcus and two other men Elena didn't recognize. They surrounded her car like a fortress. Did he touch you? Damian demanded. No, just showed me the photos. Show me. She pulled up the image he had sent her phone. Damian's jaw clenched. When was this taken? Last Tuesday, outside your Tribeca place, which means they've been surveilling us for at least a week, maybe longer. He turned to Marcus. Pull all security footage from every property. Find out how long they've been watching. And then what? Elena asked. You kill him like you tried before. This time I'll succeed. And if you don't, if there are more, if they've already sent the photos to Sarah, they haven't. How do you know? Because they'd have used that as leverage. The fact that they're threatening to send them means they haven't yet. So we have 48 hours. No, we have as long as it takes me to end this threat permanently. Elena grabbed his arm. What if the only way to end it is to tell Sarah ourselves before they can? Damian stared at her. You want to tell her. I want to control the narrative. I want her to hear it from us, not from your enemies. I want... Her voice broke. I want to stop lying to her. She'll hate us. She'll hate us anyway. At least this way we choose how it happens. Damian looked at Marcus. Give us a minute. The men stepped away. Damian turned back to Elena, his expression raw. If we tell her, we lose her. You understand that, right? She'll never forgive us. I know. And you're willing to accept that, are you? He was quiet for a long moment. She's my daughter. I love her more than anything in this world. But I love you too, and I'm tired of choosing between you. Elena's breath caught. So we tell her, tonight. Tonight, Damian agreed. Together. They called Sarah, asked her to come to Damian's Tribeca penthouse. Sarah thought it was weird, but agreed. Can Brandon come? She asked. No, Damian said. Just you, family only. Elena drove there separately, her hands shaking the entire way. This was it. The moment everything shattered. The moment she lost her best friend forever. Sarah arrived at 7. She walked into the penthouse and froze when she saw Elena already there. What's going on? Why is Lena here? Sit down, Sarah, Damian said quietly. Dad, you're scaring me. Please, just sit. Sarah sat on the couch looking between them. Okay, seriously, what is this? Elena's throat closed. She couldn't do this. Couldn't say the words that would destroy everything. Sarah, Damian said, his voice steady, there's something we need to tell you. Something that's going to hurt you. And I'm sorry. More sorry than you'll ever know. What are you talking about? And Elena and I, he paused. We've been seeing each other. The silence was deafening. Sarah blinked. Seeing each other like, what therapy business? No, Elena whispered. Like dating, like, no? Sarah stood up. No, you're not serious. Sarah, you're joking. This is a joke, a really sick joke. It's not a joke, Damian said. Sarah turned to Elena, her face white. Tell me he's lying. Tell me this isn't real. Elena's tears fell. I'm so sorry. How long now? Sarah, oh yeah, how long? 6 weeks, Elena whispered. Sarah staggered backward like she'd been hit. 6 weeks. 6 weeks you've been... She couldn't finish. He's my father. I know. He's 58 years old. I know. And you're my best friend. You're supposed to... Her voice broke completely. How could you? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sarah turned to Damien, her face twisted with betrayal. And you're supposed to protect me, not sleep with my friends. I know. That's all you have to say. You know, she laughed high and broken. Do you know what this does to me? Do you have any idea? Yes. Then why? Why would you do this? Damien's control finally cracked. Because I love her. The words hung in the air like bombs. Sarah stared at him, then at Elena, then back at him. You love her, she repeated. My best friend, who's 34 years younger than you. Yes, and you, Sarah's eyes burned into Elena. Do you love him? Elena couldn't speak, could only nod. Oh my God. Sarah sank back onto the couch. Oh my God, this is real. This is actually happening. Sarah, please. Elena reached for her. Don't touch me, Sarah jerked away. Don't you dare touch me. Don't. She was hyperventilating now, tears streaming. I trusted you, both of you, and you've been lying to me for 6 weeks. 6 weeks of looking me in the eye and lying. I wanted to tell you, Elena sobbed, so many times. But I was afraid. Afraid of what? Of losing me. Well, guess what? You lost me anyway, both of you. Sarah stood backing toward the door. Stay away from me, both of you. I never want to see either of you again. Sarah, wait, Damien started. No, you don't get to wait me. You don't get to apologize your way out of this. You betrayed me, both of you, in the worst possible way. She looked at Elena, and the hatred in her eyes was devastating. I hope he was worth it. I hope destroying our friendship was worth it, because we're done. Forever. She ran out, slamming the door behind her. The silence that followed was crushing. Elena collapsed onto the couch, sobbing. Damien stood frozen by the window, his control shattered completely. She's gone, Elena choked out. I lost her, just like I knew I would. Damien turned, and the pain on his face matched hers. We both did. They'd finally told the truth, and it had destroyed them all. Elena didn't go home that night. She stayed at Damien's penthouse, curled on his couch while he made phone calls in the other room. Business, always business. Even when his world was falling apart, he had empires to run. Around midnight, he came back, sat beside her without touching. Marcus found them. The men surveilling us. They're being handled. Handled, Elena repeated numbly. You mean killed. Does it matter? It should, but it doesn't anymore. She looked at him. What have we become? Honest finally. Honest and alone. We have each other. Elena laughed bitterly. For how long? Until the guilt destroys us, until we can't look at each other without seeing what we took from her. Don't do that. Do what? Regret this, regret us. How can I not? I just lost my best friend, the person who knew me better than anyone, who trusted me, and I destroyed that for, she gestured between them. For what sex infatuation and love, Damien said quietly. You destroyed it for love, so did I. Love isn't supposed to hurt this much. Yes, it is. Real love always does. Elena's phone buzzed. She grabbed it desperately, hoping for Sarah. Instead, Catherine. Sarah called me, told me everything. I'm coming over. Your ex-wife knows. She's coming here. Damien's jaw tightened. Of course she is. Catherine arrived 20 minutes later. She didn't knock, just used her key, apparently she still had one, and walked straight into the penthouse like she owned it. Ashana. Maybe she had once. She looked at Elena first. You should leave. This conversation is family only. Catherine, Damien started. I'm not asking Damien, I'm telling. Elena, go home. No, Damien said. If you have something to say, you say it in front of both of us. Catherine's eyes narrowed. Fine. You want her to hear this, then she'll hear it. She turned to Elena. Do you have any idea what you've done? Sarah called me sobbing so hard she could barely breathe. She's devastated, completely shattered. Her father and her best friend. Her voice broke. How could you? I'm sorry. Sorry. You think sorry fixes this? You think sorry gives her back her ability to trust anyone ever again? Catherine, that's enough, Damien said. No, it's not enough. You're my daughter's father. You were supposed to protect her, not betray her in the most disgusting way possible. Catherine's hands shook. And you, she looked at Elena. I warned you, in that bathroom. I told you to think about the consequences. I know. Then why didn't you stop? Because I couldn't. Elena's voice broke. I tried. I wanted to, but I couldn't. That's the most selfish thing I've ever heard. I know that too. Catherine turned back to Damien. She's 24 years old, barely older than Sarah. What were you thinking? I wasn't thinking. I was feeling. Feeling, Catherine laughed harshly. You don't get to use feelings as an excuse. You're 58 years old. You run a criminal empire. You kill people for a living. But you can't control yourself around a girl young enough to be your daughter. Watch yourself, Catherine. Or what? You'll kill me too. Add me to the list. Her voice turned cold. You know what Sarah asked me? She asked if I knew, if I'd known all along and hidden it from her. And I had to tell her yes, that I suspected, that I'd warned Elena, and now she thinks I betrayed her too. Damien's face went white. Catherine. So congratulations, Damien. You didn't just destroy your relationship with your daughter, you destroyed mine too. That's not fair. None of this is fair. None of this is okay. Catherine was crying now, angry tears. Sarah is the only good thing that we ever created together, the only pure, beautiful thing. And you've tainted it, both of you. Elena stood. I should go. Yes, you should, and you should stay away from this family. Forever. Catherine, stop, Damien said. Why? Because you love her. Catherine spat the word like poison. You don't love her, Damien. You're obsessed with her. There's a difference. You don't know what I feel. I know you better than she ever will. I know you don't love, you possess. You control, you consume. That's what you're doing to her, and she's too young and too infatuated to see it. That's not true, Elena said. Isn't it? Tell me something. If Sarah forgave you tomorrow, if she called and said she wanted you back in her life, would you leave him? Elena opened her mouth, closed it. That's what I thought, Catherine said quietly. You can't even answer because you know the truth. You've chosen him over her, and that choice is permanent. She left. The door clicked shut with terrible finality. Elena sank back onto the couch. She's right. About what? All of it. I chose you over Sarah. I can't take it back, even if I wanted to. Do you want to? I don't know anymore. Elena looked at him. Do you, if you could undo everything, go back to before the party, would you? Damien was quiet for a long time. No. Even knowing what it cost. Even knowing. He moved closer, taking her hand. I've done terrible things in my life, Elena. Things that keep me awake at night. Things I can never atone for. But loving you isn't one of them. It should be. Maybe, but it's not. Elena's phone rang. Sarah. Her heart leaped. Don't answer it, Damien said. I have to. She answered. Sarah. I'm calling to tell you that I never want to hear from you again. Sarah's voice was cold empty. Delete my number, lose my address, forget I exist. Because as of right now, you're dead to me. Sarah, please. I'm also calling to tell you that you're uninvited from my wedding. Obviously. And that if you ever come near me or my family again, I'll get a restraining order. Can we just talk, please? Talk about what? About how you've been fucking my father for 6 weeks while planning my bachelorette party, about how you sat across from me at dinner and lied to my face, about how you... Her voice broke. About how the person I trusted most in the world turned out to be a lying, selfish, disgusting... I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't care. I don't care if you're sorry. I don't care if you regret it. I don't care if it's tearing you apart. You made your choice. Now live with it. Sarah. And just so you know, Brandon's calling off the engagement because apparently learning that my best friend is sleeping with my father made him question whether my family is too fucked up to marry into. So congratulations. You didn't just destroy our friendship. You destroyed my entire future. The line went dead. Elena dropped the phone, stared at it like it might explode. She called off the wedding, she whispered. What? Brandon, he's calling off the engagement because of us. Damien started pacing. That's not on us. If he's that weak, It's absolutely on us. We did this. We destroyed her relationship. We destroyed her trust. We destroyed everything. Elena was crying now hard. And for what? For this, for sneaking around and lying and for love, Damien said harshly. For the first time in decades, I felt alive. You felt alive. That matters. Does it? When the cost is this high? Yes. I can't believe that. I can't. Elena stood, grabbed her purse. I need to leave. Elena. No, I need space. I need to think. I need to not be around you right now. Don't do this. Do what? Run. Every time things get hard, you run. I'm not running. I'm surviving. There's a difference. There, Elena looked at him. This man she loved. This man who'd destroyed her life. This man who'd made her happier and more miserable than she'd ever been. I'll call you tomorrow, she said quietly. That's what people say when they're never calling again. Then I guess we'll find out. She left, drove home through empty streets, tears blurring her vision. Her phone buzzed constantly, texts from numbers she didn't recognize. Then she saw the first one. Homewrecker. Then another, you're disgusting. Another, hope he was worth it, slut. Her hands shook. Someone had leaked the story. Sarah Catherine, one of Damien's enemies. By the time she got home, there were 47 messages, all variations on the same theme. Whore, homewrecker, gold digger, slut. She turned off her phone and cried until she couldn't anymore. The next morning, Elena woke to pounding on her door. She opened it to find her landlord. You need to leave, he said. What? There are photographers outside, reporters. Your drama is disturbing my other tenants. You have 24 hours to pack up and get out. You can't evict me for... Actually, I can. Check your lease. Clause 17. Any behavior that disturbs the peaceful enjoyment of other residents. You're out. He left. Elena looked out the window. Sure enough, there were 3 photographers on the street below, waiting. Her phone rang, the school principal. Elena, we need to talk. About what? About the fact that you're apparently dating a known mafia boss who's 34 years older than you and happens to be your best friend's father. His voice was tight. Parents are calling, demanding you be fired, saying you're not a good role model for their children. That's not fair. My personal life is... Your personal life became public the moment you got involved with a criminal. I'm sorry, Elena, but I'm putting you on administrative leave pending an investigation. Investigation into what? I haven't done anything illegal. Into whether your relationship with Mr. Moretti compromises your ability to teach. Whether you've used your position to... I want to believe that. But right now, the optics are terrible. Take the leave. Let things cool down. We'll revisit in a few weeks. And my classes? We'll find a substitute. He hung up. Elena stared at her phone. In less than 12 hours, she'd lost her best friend, her apartment, and her job. Her phone buzzed. Damien, I heard about the school, about your landlord. Come stay with me. No. Elena, you need somewhere to go. I need to handle this myself. Let me help. You've helped enough. She regretted it the moment she sent it, but it was true. Damien's help had cost her everything. Elena spent the day packing. She had nowhere to go, no money for a hotel long-term, and no idea how to fix any of this. Around noon, someone knocked. She opened the door to find Catherine. May I come in? Elena stepped aside. Catherine walked into the tiny apartment, looking around with barely concealed judgment. I'm not here to apologize for last night, Catherine said. I meant every word. Then why are you here? Because despite everything, I don't want to see you homeless. She pulled out an envelope. There's a key to an apartment I own in Brooklyn, small but clean. You can stay there for 3 months, rent-free. After that, you're on your own. Elena stared at the envelope. Why would you help me? I'm not helping you. I'm helping Sarah, because if you end up on the streets, she'll blame herself, and she's suffered enough. Catherine's eyes were cold. Take the apartment, get your life together, and stay away from my family. Does Damien know you're doing this? Damien doesn't control me. He never did. That's why we got divorced. She set the envelope on the counter. 3 months, Elena. Use them wisely. She left. Elena picked up the envelope, feeling the weight of the key inside. Charity from the woman whose life she'd helped destroy. She took it anyway. Because pride was a luxury she couldn't afford anymore. The apartment was in Bed-Stuy 4th floor, walk-up, barely bigger than a closet. But it had a better kitchen And most importantly, no one knew she was there. Elena unpacked her life into boxes, moved everything in one trip with a borrowed van, and spent her first night alone in 7 weeks. Her phone rang. Damien. Again. She answered. I'm fine. Where are you, P1? Brooklyn. Which part? I'll send someone? No, I don't want your help. I don't want your money. I don't want your protection. I just want space. For how long? I don't know. Elena, we need to talk about this. Talk about what? About how loving you cost me everything. About how I have no job, no home, no friends because I couldn't stay away from you. Her voice broke. What's left to talk about? About us. About what happens now. There is no now. There's just... She couldn't finish. I need time, Damien. How much time? I don't know. Days, weeks, months. I don't know. Stop pushing me. Silence. Then quietly, I love you. I know. That's what makes this so terrible. Elena closed her eyes. I love you too, but right now that's not enough. She hung up before he could respond. The next week passed in a haze. Elena applied for jobs, got rejected from all of them. Apparently dating a mafia boss made you unemployable. She called old college friends. They were supportive at first, then distant when they realized the full scope of the scandal. Sarah's social media was full of supportive comments. Stay strong. You deserve better. Good riddance to toxic people. Elena was the toxic people. 1 week turned into 2. Damien texted every day. She responded sporadically, brief messages that said nothing real. I'm okay. Still figuring things out. Need more time. On the 15th day, there was a knock on her door. Elena opened it to find Sarah. Her heart stopped. Sarah, can I come in? Of course, yes, please. Sarah walked in, looked around the tiny apartment, said nothing. She sat on the futon that served as Elena's bed and couch, waited. Elena sat across from her, terrified and hopeful, and completely unsure what to say. I came to tell you something, Sarah said finally, and I need you to listen without interrupting. Okay. I hate you. I hate you so much it physically hurts. Every time I think about you and my father, I want to throw up. You betrayed me in the worst possible way. You took my trust and you destroyed it. Sarah's voice was steady cold, and I will never ever forgive you for that. Elena's tears fell silently. But, Sarah continued, I also came to tell you that I understand why you did it. Elena's head snapped up. What? I've spent 2 weeks trying to understand, asking myself how my best friend could do this to me, and I kept coming back to the same answer: you fell in love. You didn't plan it. You didn't want it. You fought it as long as you could, but you fell in love, and love makes us do terrible things. Sarah. I'm not done. Sarah's hands clenched. I also came to tell you that my father is miserable, absolutely destroyed. He's not eating, not sleeping. Marcus says he's barely functioning, and as much as I hate both of you, I hate seeing him like that more. He called you. He calls me every day. I don't answer. But he leaves voicemails, apologizing, begging for forgiveness, telling me he loves me, but he loves you too. Sarah's voice cracked. And I realized something. He's never said that before. Never told me he loves anyone except me and Mom. In 58 years, you're the only other person. Elena couldn't breathe. So I'm here to tell you something, Sarah said. If you love him, really love him, not just the excitement or the danger or whatever, then you need to go back to him. Because he needs you, even if I hate it, even if it destroys me. He needs you. I can't, not after what we did to you. You don't get to use me as an excuse anymore. You already made your choice. 6 weeks ago when you first slept with him. You chose him over me. Own it. Sarah, I'm so sorry. Stop apologizing. It doesn't change anything. Sarah stood. I came here to release you from whatever guilt is keeping you away from him. To tell you that yes, you destroyed our friendship. Yes, I'll probably never speak to you again after today. But that doesn't mean you have to destroy your own happiness too. How can I be happy knowing what I took from you? That's your problem to figure out, not mine. Sarah walked to the door, paused. For what it's worth, I hope you are happy. I hope he makes you deliriously, impossibly happy. Because if he doesn't, if you gave up our friendship for something that doesn't last, then we both lost everything for nothing. Sarah, wait. Goodbye, Elena. I hope you get what you want. I really do. But I can't be part of your life anymore. I hope you understand that. She left. The door closed with quiet finality. Elena sat in the empty apartment, Sarah's words echoing. You already made your choice. She had, 6 weeks ago, maybe even earlier at that birthday party when she looked at Damien across the ballroom and felt something shift. She'd chosen him. She just hadn't admitted it until now. Elena grabbed her phone, called Damien. He answered on the first ring. Elena, where are you? Home? Why? I'm coming over. Now, if you'll have me. Silence, then always, you know that. She took a cab to Tribeca, took the elevator to his penthouse, used the key he'd given her weeks ago. Damien was standing by the window still in yesterday's clothes, looking like he hadn't slept in days. He turned when she walked in. They stared at each other across the space. I love you, Elena said. I've loved you since the moment you told me to run. And I'm tired of fighting it. Tired of feeling guilty about it. Tired of pretending it's wrong when it's the only thing that's ever felt right. Elena, let me finish. I lost Sarah. I lost my job. I lost my apartment and my reputation and everything I thought mattered. And you know what? I'd do it again. I'd lose it all again for you because you're worth it. Damien crossed the room in 3 strides, pulled her into his arms, kissed her like he was drowning and she was air. I love you, he said against her mouth. God, I love you so much. I know, I love you too. Sarah came to see you. How did you know? Marcus, he's been watching your building. Of course he has. Elena pulled back to look at him. She gave me her blessing, sort of, in the angriest blessing ever given. She called me, after she left you, told me if I hurt you, she'd kill me herself. She still hates us. Yes. She may never forgive us. Probably not. And we're going to have to live with that. Forever. I know. Damien's hand cupped her face. Can you live with it? Elena thought about Sarah, about their friendship destroyed, about the guilt she'd carry forever, about all the bridges she'd burned. Yes, she said finally, because the alternative is living without you, and I can't do that anymore. Are you sure? No, I'm terrified. I'm 24 years old and in love with a 58-year-old mafia boss who's my ex-best friend's father. Nothing about this is sure. She kissed him. But I'm here anyway. Then stay. Move in with me. Let me take care of you. I can't let you take care of me. I need to rebuild my life myself. Then let me help you rebuild. Elena looked around the penthouse at the life he was offering, wealth, security, love, and the cost of accepting it. Okay, she whispered, but on my terms. I find a new job. I pay my own way. I'm not your mistress or your kept woman. I'm your partner. Deal. He smiled for the first time in 2 weeks. My terrifying, brilliant, impossible partner. They kissed again, deeper this time, and for the first time since the truth had come out, Elena felt something other than guilt. She felt hope. Maybe this could work. Maybe they could build something real from the ashes of what they destroyed. Maybe love was worth the cut, or maybe she was delusional, and this would end in more disaster. But standing in Damien's arms, Elena decided she didn't care. She'd made her choice. Now she'd live with the consequences, whatever they might be. Moving in with Damien should have felt like victory. Instead, it felt like surrender. Elena unpacked her pathetic collection of belongings into his walk-in closet that was bigger than her old apartment. Her Target clothes next to his custom suits, her worn paperbacks on his empty shelves, her toothbrush beside his in the marble bathroom. Physical proof that she'd chosen this. Chosen him. You're thinking too loud, Damien said from the doorway. I'm wondering if I've made a terrible mistake. Have you? Ask me in a year, or a month, or tomorrow. Elena hung up her last dress. I keep waiting for the guilt to fade. It doesn't. It won't, not completely. We destroyed someone we both love. He moved behind her, hands on her shoulders. But we can't undo it. We can only move forward. How very pragmatic. I'm a pragmatic man. You're a criminal. That too. Elena turned to face him. I need a job, a real one, not something you arrange. Agreed. And I need to see a therapist, because this, she gestured between them, this isn't healthy. None of it is healthy. Also agreed. You're being very accommodating. I'm terrified you'll leave. He said it simply, like admitting the weather. So yes, I'm being accommodating. Good. Stay terrified. It keeps you honest. She kissed him before he could respond. That night, Elena lay awake while Damien slept beside her. 58 years old, her ex-best friend's father. A killer, a criminal, the man she loved. Her phone buzzed on. She grabbed it, hoping irrationally for Sarah. Instead, Catherine. I assume you're with him now. I hope it's worth what you gave up. Elena typed back. I don't know yet. At least you're honest about that. For what it's worth, he seems happy. I haven't seen him like this in 30 years. Does that make what we did okay? No, but it makes it real. Elena stared at the message, then turned off her phone. The first month was surprisingly normal. Elena found a job at a private tutoring company, under the table cash payment, no background checks required. The pay was terrible, but it was hers. Damien didn't comment, didn't offer to supplement her income, respected the boundaries she'd drawn. They fell into a rhythm, morning coffee together, his business calls while she graded assignments, dinners at the penthouse because restaurants meant photographers, sex that still felt desperate, like they were both trying to prove something. Then one morning, Elena woke up nauseous. She made it to the bathroom just in time. Damien appeared in the doorway, concerned. You okay? Food poisoning, maybe. That Thai place last night. I ate the same thing. I'm fine. Lucky you. She threw up again. Damien's expression changed. Elena, when was your last period? Her blood ran cold. I don't know. A few weeks ago. I haven't been tracking. She stopped. Oh, God. We've been careful. Not careful enough, apparently. They stared at each other, the weight of this new possibility crushing down. I need to take a test, Elena whispered. Damien sent Marcus to buy 5 different brands. Elena took them all in the marble bathroom while Damien paced outside. All 5 came back positive. Elena sat on the floor staring at the evidence. Pregnant, at 24, with a 58-year-old man's baby, her ex-best friend's father. This was a nightmare. Say something, Damien said quietly. I don't know what to say. Do you want to keep it? The question hung in the air. Elena pressed her hands to her still flat stomach. I don't know. I can't think. This is too much. Whatever you decide, I'll support you. Will you, if I choose not to keep it? Yes. Even though you're probably thinking this is your last chance at another child. Damien flinched. That's not fair. None of this is fair. Elena stood shaking. I'm 24. I have no career, no friends. I'm living with a mafia boss who's old enough to be my father. And now I'm pregnant. This is insane. I know. Stop saying you know. Stop being so calm about everything. What do you want me to do? Panic, would that help? Maybe, at least then, I'd feel less alone in this. You're not alone, you're never alone. I'm here. For how long? Until the novelty wears off. Until you realize I'm just a kid who destroyed your relationship with your daughter for nothing. Damien grabbed her shoulders. Listen to me. I'm 58 years old. I've lived through wars and betrayals and losses you can't imagine. And you are not a novelty. You are not nothing. You are the woman I love. The only woman who's ever made me want to be better than I am. I'm pregnant with your baby. Sarah's going to... Elena couldn't finish. Oh God, Sarah. Sarah will find out eventually whether you keep it or not. If I keep it, she'll never forgive either of us. Ever. She already hasn't forgiven us. This will make it permanent, final. There's no coming back from having your father's baby. No, Damien agreed quietly. There isn't. Elena pulled away, wrapped her arms around herself. I need time to think. How much time? I don't know. A few days? A week? Okay. She spent 3 days in a haze, researching options, calling clinics, imagining futures with a baby without a baby, alone with Damien, in a world where Sarah forgave her, in a world where she didn't. On the 4th day, Catherine showed up at the penthouse. How did you know I was here? Elena asked. Damien called me, told me you're pregnant. He had no right to. He's terrified you're going to leave, that you'll terminate the pregnancy and disappear. He wanted me to talk to you. Catherine walked in uninvited. So I'm here. Talk. About what? About what you're going to do. I don't know. Yes, you do. You just don't want to admit it. Catherine sat on the couch, elegant and composed as always. Let me tell you something about Damien. When I was pregnant with Sarah, I was 26. He was 32. We'd been married 6 months and I was terrified. He was already involved in dangerous business, already becoming the man he is now, and I didn't know if I could bring a child into that world. What did you do? I almost left, packed my bags, called my mother, but Damien came home and found me crying in our bedroom, and he said something I never forgot. Catherine's eyes were distant. He said, "If you leave, I'll understand. If you terminate, I'll support you. But if you stay, if you have this baby, I promise you I'll protect both of you with everything I am, even if it costs me my life." And you believed him? Yes, because despite everything terrible about Damien, and there's a lot that's terrible, he keeps his promises, always. Elena's hands went to her stomach. Sarah will hate me even more if I have this baby. Probably. She'll hate the child too. Her father's baby with her ex-best friend. Maybe, or maybe she'll love it anyway. Children have a way of healing things we thought were broken beyond repair. That's optimistic. I'm not optimistic. I'm experienced. Catherine stood. I'm not here to tell you what to do. That's your choice. But I am here to tell you that if you choose to have this baby, you won't be alone. Damien will be there, and so will I. Why would you help me? Because that baby is Sarah's sibling, my grandchild, and I won't punish an innocent child for the sins of its parents. Catherine moved toward the door. You have a week to decide, Elena. After that, the choice gets harder. Medically, emotionally, don't wait too long. She left. Elena sat in the empty penthouse, hands on her stomach, trying to imagine a life growing inside her. A baby, Damien's baby, Sarah's sibling. The thought was terrifying and somehow inexplicably right. That night, she told Damien, I'm keeping it. He looked up from his laptop, eyes wide. You're sure? No, I'm terrified, but I'm doing it anyway. Damien crossed the room, pulled her into his arms. Thank you. Don't thank me. This is going to be a disaster. Probably, but it's our disaster. Sarah's going to... I know. I'll tell her. Not you. This is on me. She'll hate you more. She already hates me. This just confirms what she already believes, that I'm selfish and terrible and willing to destroy everything for what I want. Are you? Yes, he said simply, but I'm also willing to build something new from the ashes, with you, if you'll let me. Elena kissed him, tasting salt from tears she didn't remember crying. Okay, let's build something new. Damien called Sarah the next day. Elena listened from the other room as he told his daughter she was going to be his sister. The silence on the other end was deafening. Then you got her pregnant. Yes. My best friend, who's 24, you got her pregnant. Yes. I can't, Sarah's voice broke. I can't believe you. I can't believe either of you. This is beyond. I know. Stop saying you don't know anything. You don't know what it's like to have your father destroy every relationship you have. First, my friendship with Elena, then my engagement with Brandon, and now... She was crying. Now there's going to be a baby, a permanent reminder of what you did. Sarah, I hope you're happy, Dad. I hope she's worth losing me forever, because that's what this is. Final, done. Don't call me again. Don't text. Don't send Christmas cards. You and Elena can play happy family with your baby, and I'll pretend I never had a father. Sarah, please. The line went dead. Damien stood holding the phone, his face ashen. She hung up, he said unnecessarily. I heard. She's never speaking to me again. I know. I've lost my daughter. Elena moved to him, wrapped her arms around him. I'm sorry. Don't be. This was my choice, our choice. He pulled her closer. We chose each other. Now we live with it. The pregnancy was difficult. Morning sickness that lasted all day. Exhaustion that made tutoring impossible. Elena quit her job, hating the dependence, but unable to function. Damien hired a private doctor, the best prenatal care money could buy, and Elena let him because what choice did she have? At 12 weeks, they heard the heartbeat. Strong and steady, real. It's really happening, Elena whispered. Yes. I'm having a baby with a 58-year-old mafia boss. Technically, you're having a baby with the man who loves you. The age and occupation are incidental. Nothing about this is incidental. The doctor printed out ultrasound photos. Elena stared at the tiny blob that was apparently her child. Their child. Are you happy? Damien asked on the drive home. I don't know. Ask me when the baby's born. or when they graduate college, or never. She looked at him. Are you terrified, but yes, happy? Even though Sarah won't speak to you, that will never stop hurting. But yes, even then. At 16 weeks, Elena's stomach started showing. She couldn't hide it anymore. The few acquaintances she still had noticed, asked questions. She told them the father was older, complicated, none of their business. The whispers started. Gold digger, sugar baby, homewrecker. Elena stopped going out. At 20 weeks, they found out the sex. A girl. Another daughter, Damien said softly, staring at the ultrasound. Does that make you think of Sarah? Everything makes me think of Sarah. Have you tried calling her? Every week, she never answers. Maybe when the baby's born. She won't forgive us, Elena. Not for this. We need to accept that. But Elena couldn't accept it. At 24 weeks pregnant, swollen and emotional and desperate, she showed up at Sarah's apartment. Sarah opened the door, saw Elena's pregnant belly, and her face went white. What are you doing here? I needed to see you, to talk. There's nothing to talk about. Sarah, please. I know you hate me. You have every right. But this baby, your sister, she's innocent. She didn't ask for any of this. Don't. Sarah's voice was ice. Don't use that baby to manipulate me. I'm not. You are. You're standing here pregnant with my father's child asking me to what? Be happy for you, forgive you. Play auntie to a baby that represents everything you took from me. I'm asking you to see that this child is family, your family. She's not my family. She's the product of your betrayal, and I want nothing to do with her, or you, or him. Sarah's hand went to the door. Now get out of my building before I call security. Sarah, the door slammed in her face. Elena stood in the hallway crying until a neighbor asked if she was okay. She wasn't, but she said she was and went home. Sarah won't forgive us, she told Damien that night. Not ever, I tried. I showed her my belly and begged, and she... Elena's voice broke. She said our daughter isn't her family. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. I know. Stop saying you know. What do you want me to say? That I can make Sarah forgive us? I can't. That I regret loving you? I don't. That I wish this baby didn't exist? I don't wish that either. Damien pulled her close. We made our choices. Now we live with them. Together. Elena cried into his chest, grieving the friendship she'd destroyed, the life she'd given up, the normalcy she'd never have. But when she felt the baby kick for the first time that night, something shifted. This was real, this life inside her. This future they were building from the ruins of everything they'd destroyed. Maybe it would be enough. At 32 weeks, Elena went into early labor. Damien called the doctor, rushed her to the hospital, held her hand while they stopped the contractions. You're on bed rest until the baby comes, the doctor said. No exceptions. How long? 6 weeks, maybe 8 if we're lucky. Elena lay in the hospital bed, terrified. What if something happens to her? It won't. We'll monitor you closely. The doctor smiled. You're doing great, Elena. The baby's strong, just like her mother. Damien stayed with her, worked from the hospital room, slept in the chair beside her bed. Marcus brought files and laptops and ran Damien's empire while he refused to leave Elena's side. You don't have to stay, Elena said on day 3. Where else would I be? Running your business? Killing your enemies? Whatever it is you do. Marcus is handling it. For how long? As long as necessary. You're going soft. I'm in love. There's a difference. On day 7, Catherine visited, brought flowers and magazines and sat beside Elena's bed like this was normal. How are you feeling? Enormous, terrified, bored. All normal, Catherine smiled. Sarah doesn't know you're here. I haven't told her. That's probably for the best. Probably, Catherine paused. But I did tell her about the early labor, that her sister almost came too soon. Elena's heart stopped. What did she say? Nothing, she hung up, but she didn't tell me not to update her. Catherine's eyes were knowing. She's still angry, still hurt, but she's listening. That's something. Or it's nothing. We can't build hope on silence. Hope is all we have sometimes. At 37 weeks, Elena's water broke. The delivery was long and painful, and Damien held her hand through all of it, looking more terrified than she'd ever seen him. You've killed people, she gasped between contractions. How is this scarier? Those people couldn't hurt me. This, he gestured helplessly at her belly. This can destroy me. Dramatic. Honest. 8 hours later, Elena held her daughter, tiny, perfect, with Damien's dark eyes and a full head of black hair. She's beautiful. Damien whispered, tears streaming down his face. She's ours. Yes. They named her Grace because they needed all the grace they could get. Because despite everything terrible they'd done, this perfect thing existed. The first week was chaos. Sleepless nights and constant feeding and the overwhelming terror of keeping this tiny human alive. Damien was surprisingly good at it, changing diapers with the same efficiency he used to dismantle rival organizations, soothing Grace with a gentleness Elena hadn't known he possessed. You've done this before, she said, watching him burp Grace at 3 a.m. With Sarah, 30 years ago. Some things you don't forget. Do you think she knows that Grace is here? Catherine probably told her. And nothing, no response, no acknowledgement, nothing. Elena looked down at Grace sleeping peacefully in Damien's arms. This child who would grow up without knowing her sister, who would bear the weight of her parents' choices. I'm sorry, Elena whispered to her daughter. I'm sorry your existence comes with so much baggage. You deserve better parents than us. She has the parents she has, Damien said quietly. Flawed, complicated, but completely devoted to her. That has to count for something. At 6 weeks old, Grace smiled for the first time. At 3 months, she laughed a sound that filled the penthouse with audacity Elena had forgotten existed. At 6 months, Catherine came to visit and held her granddaughter and cried. She looks like Sarah did, Catherine said. Same eyes, same determined little chin. Does Sarah know you visit? Yes. And she hasn't forbidden it. Yet. That's progress. Elena wanted to believe her, wanted to believe that someday Sarah would soften, would meet Grace, would find a way to forgive them. But months turned into a year, then 2. Grace took her first steps, said her first word, Dada, which made Damien cry. Started toddler classes where other parents whispered about the age gap, about the scandal, about the Mafia Boss and his 2 young girlfriend. Elena stopped caring what people thought. She had Grace. She had Damien. She had this strange broken family they'd built from the ashes of everything they'd destroyed. It wasn't perfect. Elena still grieved Sarah. Still woke up sometimes crying from dreams where they were friends again. Still saw photos on social media of Sarah's new life, new friends, new job, new boyfriend who was age-appropriate and normal and everything and Elena wasn't. But she also had moments of pure joy. Grace's laughter, Damien reading bedtime stories in his gravelly voice. Sunday mornings in Central Park, the 3 of them looking like a family. On Grace's 2nd birthday, someone knocked on the penthouse door. Damien answered it and froze. Sarah stood in the hallway holding a wrapped present. Can I come in? She asked quietly. Damien stepped aside. Sarah walked into the apartment she'd sworn never to enter again and stopped when she saw Elena holding Grace. The 2 women stared at each other across the space. 2 years of silence, 2 years of pain, 2 years of missing each other. Hi, Sarah said finally. Hi, Elena managed. I'm not here to forgive you, either of you. I'm not ready for that. Sarah's eyes went to Grace. But I am here to meet my sister, if that's okay. Elena's throat closed. Of course it's okay. Sarah walked over slowly, knelt down to Grace's level. Hi, Grace. I'm your big sister, Sarah. Grace, being 2 and fearless, reached out and grabbed Sarah's hair. Sarah laughed a sound Elena had thought she'd never hear again. Yeah, we're definitely related. Sarah grabbed everything too. She stayed for an hour, played with Grace, talked to Catherine, who'd appeared mysteriously, pointedly ignored both Elena and Damien. When she left, she paused at the door. I'll come back. For Grace, not for you. Don't mistake this for forgiveness. We won't, Damien said quietly. The door closed. Elena collapsed onto the couch, shaking. She came, she whispered. She actually came. For Grace, she made that clear. I don't care why, she came. It wasn't forgiveness. It wasn't reconciliation, but it was something. Sarah came back the next month. And the month after that, always for Grace. Always civil but distant with Elena and Damien. But she came. Grace adored her big sister. Looked for her at the door. Cried when she left. Slowly, painfully, impossibly, something was rebuilding. 3 years after Grace was born, Sarah showed up with her new fiancé, a nice man named David, who didn't flinch at the family drama. They had dinner together, awkward and careful Grace, chattering through the tension. After dinner, Sarah pulled Elena aside. I need to say something. Okay, I don't forgive you. What you did, what you both did, that doesn't just go away. Sarah's eyes filled. But I also can't hold on to the hate anymore. It's exhausting. And Grace, she loves you both so much. And she loves me. And I'm not going to punish her for your choices. Sarah, I'm not done. I'm also saying this because I've spent 3 years watching you be a mother, watching Dad be a father again. And you're good at it. Better than I thought you'd be. You're devoted to her, or both of you, and that matters. Thank you. Don't thank me. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing it for Grace and for me, because holding on to this anger was poisoning everything good in my life. Sarah wiped her eyes. So we're not friends. We're probably never going to be friends again, but we're family. Broken, fucked up family, but family. Elena couldn't speak, could only nod. Also, I'm getting married in 6 months, and I want Grace to be my flower girl, if that's okay. Of course it's okay. Good. Sarah took a breath. You and Dad can come. You'll sit in the back. You won't be in photos, but you can come. For Grace. We'll be there. Sarah nodded once and walked away. Elena stood in the hallway crying silently. Damien found her there. You okay? She invited us to her wedding. I heard. We're family again. Broken family, but family. Yes. Elena turned to him, this man who destroyed her life and rebuilt it into something she never expected. This man who was 58 when they met and now 61, silver hair and laugh lines and completely devoted to their daughter, to her. Do you regret it? She asked. Any of it? Damien thought about it, really thought. I regret hurting Sarah. I'll regret that until I die. But loving you, having Grace, no. I don't regret that. Even knowing the poem, me neither. Even though you lost your best friend, your career, your reputation, I got them back. Different. Broken. But back. Elena smiled through tears. And I got you. I got Grace. I got this weird, impossible life I never planned for. Is it enough? Yes, Elena said and meant it. It's enough, Grace's laughter echoed from the living room. Sarah's voice joined in tentative but real. Catherine said something that made everyone laugh. Damien's arms wrapped around Elena. This was her life now. 27 years old, mother to a 3-year-old, partner to a 61-year-old former mafia boss, sister-in-law to the woman whose friendship she'd destroyed and was slowly, painfully rebuilding. It wasn't the life she'd planned. It wasn't normal. It wasn't easy. But standing there listening to her daughter laugh with her sister, held by the man she'd sacrificed everything for, Elena Brooks realized something. She'd fallen in love with her best friend's father at 24. She'd destroyed everything she knew. She'd become someone she never imagined becoming. And somehow, impossibly, she'd found her way home. Not to the life she'd had, but to the life she'd chosen. The life she'd fought for. The life she'd built from the ruins of everything she'd destroyed. Grace called for her. Elena wiped her eyes and walked back into the living room, into the chaos and love and brokenness of her family. Damien followed. Sarah smiled carefully, guardedly, but genuinely. Catherine poured wine. David made a terrible dad joke that made Grace giggle, and Elena thought this is how it ends. Not with forgiveness that was still years away if it ever came at all. Not with redemption, some things couldn't be redeemed, but with acceptance, with family, with love that survived despite everything trying to kill it. She'd ruined her life for this man, and he'd been worth every devastating second.